Have you ever witnessed something that defied all logical explanation? A healing that doctors could not explain, a prophecy that came true against all odds, or a moment so perfectly timed it felt like divine intervention. In a world obsessed with science and skepticism, modern miracles still slip through the cracks, and today, we're diving deep into the most compelling cases. Whether you're a believer, a skeptic, or just curious, what you're about to see will challenge everything you thought you knew. 1. The boy who woke up from brain death. In 2015, a 13-year-old boy named Trenton McKinley was declared brain dead after a horrific accident. Doctors told his parents to say their goodbyes. But minutes before organ donation, Trenton woke up fully conscious. His recovery was medically inexplicable. Cases like this are not just rare, they're supposed to be impossible. Yet they keep happening. Why? Trenton's case was not isolated. Medical literature contains dozens of similar stories: patients waking from comas with no brain activity, terminal illnesses vanishing overnight. Dr. Alan Showman, a pediatric neurologist, has documented over 100 cases of children recovering from what was deemed irreversible brain damage. The common thread? These cases defy our current understanding of neurology. Some researchers suggest consciousness might operate outside the brain entirely, a theory that could rewrite medicine as we know it. And here's what's even more startling. Trenton's parents reported he had visions during his coma, details about events he could not have known. His mother described him accurately recounting conversations that happened while he was brain dead. If consciousness persists when the brain shuts down, what does that mean for our definitions of life and death? 2. The dark side of miracle claims. Not all miracles are created equal. For every genuine mystery, there are a dozen frauds: televangelists faking healings, psychics preying on the vulnerable, and staged prophecies designed to manipulate. The worst part? These scams make it harder for real, unexplained phenomena to be taken seriously. Have you ever wondered why some people are so quick to dismiss miracles outright? This might be why. Take the case of televangelist Peter Popoff. Exposed in the 1980s for using an earpiece to receive information about audience members, information he then presented as divine revelation. His entire healing crusade was a scam, preying on desperate people. But the damage goes deeper. When frauds like this dominate headlines, genuine, unexplained phenomena get dismissed by association. The psychology behind why people fall for fake miracles is just as troubling. Studies show that in moments of desperation, the brain becomes more susceptible to believing extraordinary claims, a survival mechanism called magical thinking. This does not mean real miracles do not exist, but it explains why charlatans thrive in times of crisis. The key? Healthy skepticism paired with an open mind. 3. Science versus the supernatural. Where they agree, here's where it gets fascinating. Studies on placebo effects show belief can trigger measurable physical healing. Prayer studies reveal statistically significant improvements in patients, even when they do not know they're being prayed for. The mind's power over the body is real, and science is just beginning to understand it. Maybe miracles are not magic. Maybe they're undiscovered science. Consider the Harvard study on intercessory prayer for cardiac patients. Those who were prayed for, without their knowledge, had significantly fewer complications. The kicker? The effect persisted even when the patients weren't told about the prayers. This suggests something beyond placebo, an external influence science cannot yet measure. Even more compelling are the studies on spontaneous remission in cancer patients. The National Cancer Institute maintains a database of over 3,500 cases where tumors vanished without treatment. Many of these patients reported profound spiritual experiences beforehand. Could belief trigger biological changes we do not yet understand? The data hints at yes. 4. The prophecy that predicted a president's death. In 1863, a man named Abraham Lincoln dreamed of his own assassination weeks before it happened. His wife later confirmed he described the exact details. Coincidence? Maybe. But what about modern cases? In 2020, a little-known pastor predicted a global pandemic with eerie accuracy. When prophecies hit this close to home, it's hard to write them off. Lincoln's dream was not his only supernatural experience. Weeks before his death, he reportedly saw two versions of himself in a mirror, one healthy, the other ghostly pale. His wife claimed he took this as an omen. Fast forward to 1963, when Jeane Dixon, a psychic consulted by multiple U.S. presidents, predicted JFK's assassination with chilling accuracy. She described the dark clouds over Dallas months before the shooting. Modern prophecy is not limited to individuals. In 2014, a group of neuroscientists at the University of Amsterdam discovered that the brain can subconsciously predict events up to 10 seconds before they happen. Their theory? Time might not be as linear as we think, and neither are prophecies. 5. Why your brain rejects miracles. Our brains are wired to dismiss what we cannot explain. It's called cognitive dissonance. When facts clash with our worldview, we ignore them. That's why eyewitness accounts of miracles are often met with eye rolls. But what if we're filtering out truth because it's uncomfortable? Think about the last time you saw something unexplainable. Did you rationalize it away? This mental resistance is not just psychological, it's cultural. From childhood, we're taught that seeing is believing, but history proves the opposite. Most scientific breakthroughs, gravity, germs, quantum physics, were once considered impossible. The same bias now applies to miracles. A 2023 University of Virginia study found that people who witness unexplainable events often stay silent, fearing ridicule. This creates a vicious cycle. The less we talk about miracles, the rarer they seem. But what if we're surrounded by the extraordinary and just do not recognize it? 6. The healing that changed a doctor's life. Dr. Mary Neal was a skeptical surgeon until she drowned in a kayaking accident and came back to life with a story that shook her to the core. She described details of her own resuscitation she could not possibly have known. Today, she researches near-death experiences. Her conclusion? Consciousness exists beyond the body. If even scientists are convinced, shouldn't we listen? Dr. Neal's case is part of a growing body of near-death experience, NDE research. The shared death experience phenomenon, where bystanders report seeing the same visions as the dying person, challenges all materialist explanations. In one documented case, a nurse described seeing a deceased relative in a patient's room moments before the patient coded. The patient later recounted meeting that same relative during their NDE. Even more intriguing, blind people who've never seen colors describe vibrant hues during NDEs. If consciousness is purely brain-based, how could this happen? These cases suggest perception exists beyond the physical senses. 7. How to spot a fake miracle. Real miracles leave evidence. Fake ones fall apart under scrutiny. Look for consistency across witnesses. Check for financial motives. Most importantly, does the miracle produce lasting change? A healed limb does not regrow tumors. A true prophecy does not need constant reinterpretation. You do not have to be gullible to believe, just discerning. One red flag? Miracles that require payment. Authentic healings do not come with donation quotas. Another test, longevity. When a paralyzed person suddenly walks, follow their story for years. Fraudulent healings often reverse when cameras leave. But the most reliable litmus test? Humility. Real miracle recipients rarely seek fame. Take the 1986 case of a Peruvian woman whose advanced tuberculosis vanished mid-prayer. She refused interviews for decades, only sharing her story to encourage medical research. That's the mark of truth. 8. The miracle even atheists cannot explain. In 1981, a woman named Barbara Snyder was cured of terminal cancer overnight, after a stranger prayed for her. Her doctors, including atheists, signed sworn affidavits. No treatment could explain it. Cases like this exist in medical literature, yet they're rarely discussed. Why? Because they force us to confront a terrifying question. What if we're not alone? Barbara's healing was investigated by the Vatican's medical board, one of only 70 cases deemed inexplicable in 400 years. Her scans showed tumors one day, clear lungs the next. But here's what's rarely discussed. Her healing mirrored dozens of other cases in Lourdes, France, where thousands claimed cures. The common denominator? Extreme emotional surrender. Researchers note that most miracle recipients describe a moment of complete release before their healing. This aligns with studies on the placebo effect's power, except these results are permanent and instantaneous. 9. Your brain on awe. Why miracles matter. Experiencing awe, like witnessing a miracle, boosts your immune system, reduces inflammation, and makes you more generous. It's not just about belief, it's about biology. Whether miracles are divine or psychological, their impact is real. Maybe the question is not, are they real? But What happens when we open our minds to the possibility? Awe does not just feel good, it rewires us. MRI scans show that awe-inspiring experiences, like witnessing a miracle, activate the vagus nerve, which controls inflammation. This might explain why people who report mystical experiences often show sudden improvements in autoimmune diseases. The implications are huge. If wonder can heal, then dismissing miracles is not just skepticism, it's a mistherapeutic tool. Hospitals are already experimenting with awe therapy for chronic pain patients. The results? Many report pain reduction without medication. 10. The experiment that could change everything. What if you could test miracles for yourself? Try this. For 30 days, document every coincidence, answered prayer, or strange synchronicity. Look for patterns. You might be shocked by what you find. Miracles do not always shout. Sometimes they whisper, but only those who are listening ever hear them. The truth is, we live in a world far stranger than we admit. Whether miracles are divine interventions or undiscovered science, dismissing them outright robs us of wonder, and maybe even healing. So here's my challenge to you. Stay curious. The next time you encounter the unexplainable, do not look away. Lean in. And if you've ever experienced something you cannot explain, tell me in the comments, because your story might be the proof someone else needs.